Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of Ballet International. Today, I'm going to talk about a new interesting topic that concerns three categories. One, the ballet teachers. Second, the students. Third, the parents of the students. Now, let's take, for instance, as an example, the great ballet academies as the Bolshoi, the Kirov, Opera of Paris, Royal Academy of Dancing, and many others that are considered the biggest academies. Usually at the end of August or mid-September, there is the admission exams, which gives a possibility to the academy to accept or refuse new students. Now, of course, in those big academies, you might have about 150, 200 students that come with the parents. They stand at the gate or at the door of outside in the street, and then they divide in two parts, the girls' class, the boys' class. And while the children are doing the exams, the parents usually cannot get in. They wait outside unless they have a big hall and the parents can wait inside, but they cannot go to watch what the children do. So as we all know, in the world of ballet, usually examination are done in different parts because there is the physical aptitude to see and check if the physique is good, the bone structure, the muscles, if there is no scoliosis, if there are no, they had no disease, and if the children are in good health. And so it's a sort of medical checkup before going to make the technical exam. Afterwards, they start doing a very basic technical examination, which consists of viewing how the child can react either with the musicality, the physique, the endurance, the strength, and the coordination of some movements. The exams usually they see the turnout because not all children are the same bone structure. So they don't have the same, muscle elasticity. Sometimes the joints in the hips are different from one child to another. There are some children who have naturally pointed feet. So there are many things to check. So usually during examination, there's not only one teacher, but there are about, it depends on the academy, but there are about maybe 10, maybe more teachers who are watching and the students while they are at the bar, while they do simple things at the center work, And then finally, the teachers give the notation, and they are chosen slowly, and they eliminate the one that cannot dance. So, but this is, I mean, the normal routine for a ballet academy. Of course, when you are dealing with a private school, which is not a great ballet academy, the situation is different, which means that everything is reduced to a minimum. In other words, instead of having 10 teachers, you will have maybe one or two. Instead of having 200 or 150 students who come in September to make admission exam, you will have maybe 10, 15, 20 maximum. And not all private school may have a wide hall or a gate, so they are obliged to get into the ballet school, inside. Now, what I'm trying to point out today as a new topic, independently of the biggest academy or the small ballet school, you have the teachers who can be, usually they are good teachers. It doesn't exist bad teachers, because a teacher usually, after so many years of hard work, knows what it means to teach, either in the technique point of view, in the philosophic point of view, pedagogical point of view, and must be a person who must be very open and talk and explain and listen, to listen. The students, you must put yourself in the students' mentality, because the students, especially if those have never done ballet, the first audition, the first exam they ever do in an academy or in a private ballet school, they are scared to death, because the imagination works much more than the reality. So you, as a teacher, you must put yourself in that imagination, in that scale. So you must, you as a teacher, you must give the possibility to the student to erase that fear of um, doing that exam. So it's very difficult, because as a teacher, you must discover the character of each student. You have the students who are shy. You have the students who don't talk. You have, on the other hand, the students who talk all the time. You have the student who want to show that he knows everything or she knows everything. So you have the student who doesn't even listen to you. And you have the student who constantly is watching the teacher, either in the movements, in the enchaînement, in the combination, and is trying to understand how to make the exam. So all these factors may all together give the final decision to the jury or to the teacher. So we have spoken about the teachers, we have spoken about the students. But the main problem remains one. And I think that many of you might, I'm not saying will, might agree with me. Probably the teachers who are watching this video, they will agree with me. especially the ones who have private schools. The main problem are the parents. Parents sometimes can become a big obstacle to their children, to the students. And you have different type of parents. You have different type of mother. You have different type of father. Not all of them can be perfect. So you have the type of parents who insist understanding why the children has not been accepted during exams. You have the type of parents who start screaming at the gate and make a big drama because the children have not been accepted. You have the type of parents who accept that the children are not up to ballet. Put all that together, the next problem becomes different because the children who have been accepted regularly during the first year term, which is, as all we know, the first year of ballet is the fundamental base that you are absorbing at the bar and at the center work in order, like you see behind me, the ballet studio, you have the, the columns. And those columns are support of the whole building. So you are building the columns of fundamental ballet in that body, in that young body. And this is very important. So the first year, at the end of the first year, usually, I'm talking this by experience because I have been also teaching. And usually the first year, the students, they don't participate to gala, to a performance, because they only do a demonstrative class in front of the parents, which is more than enough. It's only after 2 or 3 years that the child starts learning a little bit more steps, accumulating more steps, more technique, and can participate to ensemble, little groups, but not variations. So the problem that I personally encountered with students and with parents. Students, you have after 3, 4 years that you are following a student, you understand how the student is developing the mental strength in parallel with the technique of ballet. So the first year you correct each movement, you actually, in other words, I'm giving you this example. You have Michelangelo, who was a sculptor, who was an artist, and you give him a piece of marble, piece of stone or marble, and Michelangelo, from this piece of marble, he is trying to create, to sculpt a statue. And this is the goal of a ballet teacher. You are trying to build the ballet technique into that young body who doesn't know anything about ballet. And this is the most important part. You cannot pretend that this child will make extravaganza high-tech technique. No. I prefer that a student make the basic, but a good basic with strong potential. And then after this first year of good basic, you start building up all the rest that surrounds this fundamental. But the parents don't understand this. The parents want to see the child on point shoes when they can't go on point shoes. The parents want to have their children having the best roles in gala when they can dance. They want to see the children on the first row when they do examination. So you, as a teacher, I'm referring always to private school, it's very difficult to explain all these different ideas to the parents, because not all parents may react in the same way. You have the mother who is understanding, and she says, okay, I understand that my child is not strong enough. So I wait and I will see how my child is progressing in the technique, and whenever she might do some progress, I will be happy to see her on stage one day and do more difficult things. You have another type of mother who start complaining. She's not happy. Why my child is always in the back row, and why my child is not doing any progress. All children cannot do the same progress in the same way. There are students who take more time than others. There are the fast learners and there are slow learners. So you must give the possibility to each one to go in one line. And this is only a difficult duty and task to the teacher, to the ballet teacher. Even during class, there are some students who get an enchaînement or the very easy thing, but they do it perfectly from the first time. And there are others who take maybe 1 week, 10 days to understand the dynamic of the movement. There's also another problem is that not all children have the same muscle elasticity. So you have to help with extra movements to get more supple in the exercises. But to make understand this to the parents, it's very, very difficult. And sometimes it can happen that the parents become an obstacle, which means that the parents put the child, their children, if they have more than one, against the teacher. So the student comes to the ballet class and is not happy about the ballet class, is not happy about the ballet teacher, but you as a ballet teacher must be able to understand and to capture all these different feelings. The only way that you could maybe help this situation is you have two choices, which is very difficult for the private ballet school and also for big academies, is to invite the parents in small groups, not all together, in small groups maybe, to watch a ballet class while the children are working at the bar in the center. It's going to be a different ballet class from the usual one because you have to stop sometimes and explain why some movements have to be done in a certain way. But you explain that not to the children because they know already. You have to explain that as a demonstrative class to the parents because the parents don't know anything about ballet. Sometimes you may have also a mother or a father who has been an ex-ballet dancer. So that is different. Or sometimes you have the mother and the father who have been working in a ballet company, but usually they teach ballet to their own children without bringing the children in other ballet schools. But it can also happen. So in case the parents have never done ballet, you have to explain to them. You have to explain the different type of difficulties, because there's not only one difficulty. There are different type of difficulties, and it's the feeling of learning ballet for the child, or even for the teenager, or even for the professional dancer, is exactly like climbing a mountain on your knees. So after a few meters, you won't feel your knees because they will hurt. And this is the technique of ballet. So everything has to be done gradually, slowly. You can't expect from a student that he can or she can jump from one class to another. You have to go to the regular terms from year 1, year 2, year 3, 4, until 9 or 8, whatever it is. So parents sometimes they create problems because they don't understand. So I'm referring this short video to the teachers, to the students, and to the parents, but especially to the parents. Now, the second alternative that could be also helpful beside the exams or just inviting the parents to watch a class could also to let the parents get involved into the ballet school activities. Not in doing ballet, but getting involved when the time comes to prepare the gala. So the parents could be helpful for the costumes, could be helpful for to create the stage sets, could be helpful for if there are some parents who are good technician in the music, they could help. There are many things that parents can do. So this maybe could help the parents to live in a parallel line with their children. So they will appreciate much more the performance and the progress of their children because they have been participating to the same spectacle, the same performance of their children. So I have created this short video in order that there is nobody to blame from the teachers, from the parents. But the important is to be able to understand both, because it comes a moment where both teacher and parents must have a dialogue. The teacher must have the possibility sometimes to talk to the children, to the parents, excuse me, and explain their point of view as a teacher, their apprehension, what is the progress that the student is doing, and what are the lacks that could be improved without blaming the students or accusing the students. No, but you must encourage the students. You must understand the student, because if you talk to the parents while the student is present, the student will feel very embarrassed, especially the young one, because especially if you have the shy type of students. It's better you talk to the parents without the child. And sometimes you have to talk to the child for technique problem, for the disciplinary problem. So you must never do that alone. You must always talk to the child in front of the parents. So this is obligatory. But giving an advice, not pointing the finger and saying this is wrong or accusing the child of his mistakes. No, giving an advice. You say to the child, look, I noticed that from a few weeks, there's something that is not working correctly. So I would like to see you doing more and more and better and better. And I think that you can do it. I trust you. So do it. So you give more confidence to the child, and in the same way, you give more confidence to the parents. So today, that was a very short video, because I know that many of you are teaching in big academies or in small private ballet school, and the situation are different from one to another, and could concern many different subjects, many different situations that you are also experiencing. But mine, just a very brief idea that I'm giving, but I'm sure that many of you had different experience with the parents, with the students. So in case you wish to exchange ideas or have your say, uh, maybe during a short interview on Zoom, and this could help ballet schools, could help the teachers, could help the students, could help also the parents, because probably many parents go on YouTube, they watch many, a thousand of videos, but giving the right idea could improve a collaboration between the ballet school and the parents. A good collaboration between students and the teacher. A good collaboration between an understanding between the parents and the students. This is important. The student cannot understand the parents, and vice versa, the parents cannot understand all this big mountain of difficulties that is called ballet of their children. So I wish to thank you for watching this short video, and I hope that to create new topics in the future. Thank you very much, and have a lovely day.